this is Dread from Epoch Builds, and in today's video topic, we'll go over my top 5 recommended builds for T4 Dungeon Jurla farming, a video that has been requested a lot by now. What prompted me to make this video is there is a lot of disinformation in the community going around right now, as people think T4 Jurla is actually a hard boss fight. She is, until you learn her mechanics. Then it's all based on gearing. She has a high gear ceiling to do, as you either need to kill her before the big explosion happens and she continues her other phases, or be able to tank the explosion while killing her. I am going to recommend 5 builds here, but trust me when I say this, there are plenty more I do not have here. There's Squirrel Beastmaster, Stationary Wraith Necromancer, Amaranth's EQ Werebear, Whim's Cold Dot Werebear, just to name a few. Just today, someone posted a clip on Reddit of him killing it with Siege Barrage Bleed Javelin. I'll be posting a lot of these in the description of the video as well to get as many builds out there as possible. These are just my 5 recommended ones that seem to be either the easiest to perform the fight or the cheapest. I have 2 big fat disclaimers for this video. The first is, all of these builds I showcase today are subject to being nerfed in the next patch. We have no idea what EHG thinks is a healthy T4 Jurla kill and how long they want the average to be, so I'm going to assume builds like Poison Flurry, killing her in a few seconds, is probably going to be removed next patch. So please make sure to check the patch number from this video's title and in-game, as well that will help you determine whether these builds still function, and I'll be updating the pinned comment or the description in case this happens as well. The second disclaimer is these builds aren't cheap, and what do I mean by cheap? Well, you're probably going to have to put some work into these, grind some pieces through either boss kills or monolith grinding. Killing T4 Jurla is a big gear check, and don't expect it to happen instantly. This video is geared towards people who have already leveled characters and can easily respecialize into one of these builds. The first build on this list is going to be Abomination Necromancer. I had gotten flack for this one specifically because I was accused of it not being legit. Even though I have multiple VODs of me farming her for hours on end with this build, and the gearing is really lackluster in general. So I decided to spice it up a bit and take off my body armor and my Death Rattle unique amulet, causing the fight to go on much longer than it should have, just to showcase how cheap this build actually is in all of reality. This build utilizes the insane combo of summoning a bunch of skeletons and sacrificing them to summon a gigantic fleshy giant, which gains a lot of more damage modifiers per minion consumed, leading to one of the most AFK friendly T4 Jurla killers, as you only need to dodge attacks while he does the work. Definitely one of the easier builds to get up and running on this list, and this build will probably be nerfed next patch as well. So the second build on this list is Arborist's Poison Flurry Blade Dancer. This is actually the same build we posted last patch, as the nerfs to Flurry were nowhere near enough to take it off in terms of DPS. This is by far one of the highest DPS builds in the game currently, so it's no surprise that this turns out to be one of the best T4 Jurla farmers, as a 7-second Jurla kill is hard to beat. Now this is by far the largest target of the next patches of nerfs, so I'd have fun with this before it inevitably gets removed from the game. Arborist makes it really hard to edit his portions of video, as his boss kills are so short and I have to keep reusing the same clip over and over again, so I'll keep it short, much like his boss kills. The next build on this list is not of my own, it is going to be Manifest Armor Forge Guard. This is Chris's Manifest Armor Forge Guard. I have actually played Manifest Armor in the past with the shield throw setup, but with the introduction of the new legendary system, it means Manifest Armor stands to gain the most out of most of these builds, as proven here. With an Apathy's Maw with base crit, this becomes possible, as an Apathy's Maw has an insane amount of flat damage on hit, and combined with all the Void Cleave stuff, it makes mopping up T4 Jurla an absolute breeze. The build guide for this build is actually a forum post and not a video, as I haven't gotten around to playing this build myself. Give Christ some love, as he deserves it for putting the work on this one. For the second to last build on this list, it is going to be Foe's Lightning Blast Elemental Nova Sorcerer. In the video, you will see Static Orb, as my friend Jay the Product has been playing the Static Orb variation of this build, but the Lightning Blast tree is this exact same, as Lightning Blast has some of the highest DPS in the entire game, so of course it becomes one of the greater contenders for T4 Jurla. In the footage here, he is using a Ravenous Void, but that's only so he can tank things like the Cold Wave and the Void Beams. If you don't have one, it isn't really a problem, but your margin of error increases a slight bit, as you can't just face tank the entire Cold Wave. This build is definitely one of the better builds to farm T4 Jurla this patch, considering how cheap it actually is. So I am not showing a squirrel build here for the Primalist one, although there will be links to the current T4 Jurla squirrel builds in the description, as it's been covered to death at this point, and I wanted to showcase Surfin Strike Beastmaster, as it proves there are builds that can almost face tank everything, and this build is perfect for the person who's not the best at video games, as the only mechanics you need to worry about this build are the Void Beams and the Gigantic Explosion, as the high amount of dodge and damage reduction allows you to just simply relax the entire fight. Now, you won't be doing as much DPS as the other builds on this list, as we are more focused on surviving, as other Surfin Strike builds who go full glass cannon could compete with some of these options, but definitely could not survive some of these attacks I'm tanking in this footage, so we have less DPS than normal, but a safe boss kill that is only 2 minutes long, always a solid option. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you've enjoyed it, I'd suggest leaving a like, subscribing, and leaving a comment, as that's the best way to support the channel. And this is all I do here at Epoch Builds, is show off good, solid builds. Thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the day wherever you're at, and bye.